Toddlers are like condensate version of adults, of people, and they have this roller coaster emotions. It made me realize even more that nothing is forever, everything passes.
Did you say you were terrorized? As in
Yes.
you really felt really scared?
Yeah, I thought I was going to die giving birth. I had all these terrible images of giving birth, like my husband is going to come back on his own with our baby.
I love how you took your terror and you turned it into empowerment, into strength.
There are doors that you can open, and only you can open them. But you just have to open your eyes and see them.
On this episode, we would like to address how motherhood shapes our identities and our passions and navigating the changes that it brings. We have here today Maud, who is the founder of Bliss in Birth, a certified educator in hypnobirthing and also recently a Pilates teacher. So just a fun little question at the moment. What is one thing that your toddler has taught you that hypnobirthing couldn't even have prepared you for?
So this is a really hard question because toddlers, they are like condensate version of adults, of people, and they have this roller coaster emotions.
They're discovering their emotions.
Yeah. So it's like 1 minute they are screaming and crying, and the minute later they are laughing. And it made me realize even more that nothing is forever, everything passes. So whether you're sad or even happy or joyful, like it's not forever. Seize the moment or let it pass, because it's just a moment. Let them, go through you and feel what you have to feel. Like I would never tell my kid, stop crying. This is nonsense. Like, of course, like if you have to cry, cry it out.
Let it out.
Cry it out, and then you will feel better.
What were you doing before this? Before you became a mom?
Before I became a mom, so initially I'm a journalist for radio and television, and I also started clothing brand in China.
Wow, that's so cool. Is it still in existence?
No, I stopped when I arrived in Singapore because it was because of my daughter, actually. And because when we moved to Singapore, I wanted to invest more in myself than in a production. And so that's what I did. And I think like what has changed me, maybe how motherhood has changed me, is that I feel the need to invest more in myself, to take care of myself than I did before. Becoming a mom made me prioritize myself. That I know that sounds super weird, like because usually people say like when you have a kid, then your priority is your child. Of course, she's my priority, but then if I have to take care of her well, I have to take care of myself.
At which point do you realize this?
When I was pregnant, I was really terrorized by giving birth, and that's how I found out about hypnobirthing. I was looking for ways to relax myself, but I was maybe 6 months pregnant already.
Did you say you were terrorized? As in
Yes.
you really felt really scared?
I thought I was going to die giving birth. Yeah, I had all these really strong and terrible images of giving birth. Like I think
It is
most
scary,
of us
yeah.
have in their mind because of movies, because of stories you've heard from friends, from family. And I had all this in my mind. I was like, there's no way I'm going to go to the hospital on the day I give birth thinking I'm not going to come back, and my husband is going to come back on his own with our baby. And
But that's such a real fear. It really
it was a
happens to all
super
of
strong
us.
fear. And so when I discovered hypnobirthing, and I had never really been interested in relaxation, hypnosis before. I didn't know what it was. It was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, giving birth. I'm not saying it's easy when you do hypnobirthing. It's so empowering. Like it's a feeling like no other.
So it gave you a sense of achievement, like,
And
you birthed a human.
I did. You too.
Yes. Yes. For those who are not familiar, what exactly is hypnobirthing in your own words?
Basically, hypnosis is deep relaxation. So everyone would experience it in a different manner.
Breathing.
But yeah, so it's deep, deep, deep relaxation. So I get people in that super relaxed state. And then what we want to achieve, because it's always related to childbirth, we replace negative images, negative thoughts, fears, anxieties. And so once I guided them in their peaceful place, we replace with positive images, positive thoughts. Then there is a session once they've learned to really deepen the relaxation. What hypnosis, then we release fears. And so hypnosis has two advantages. Like I said, it's a deep relaxation. And so when you are in a relaxed state, it's been proven that you produce endorphins, and they are natural painkillers. Super helpful for childbirth, but also it's also the feel good hormone. So it makes you feel good when you're pregnant too. So when you practice over your pregnancy, it helps you arrive on the day you give birth in pretty good state.
I find it very impressive that because you shared that you were terrorized, or in your own words, and you were able to adopt this into your own practice to arrive at a place of relaxation and calmness for yourself in your own birthing journey.
Yes, because the second thing that hypnosis does is access the subconscious mind. And so that's why it goes beyond what usual childbirth preparation do. It's because thanks to this deeply relaxed state, this hypnotic state, you can access subconscious mind. And usually that's where all your fears, anxieties, like really are deeply imprinted in your mind. And when you are in a hypnotic state, you can bypass your conscious mind and access your subconscious and release fears.
Putting myself in your shoes, I'm not sure if I know how to release and swap all these images to positive ones in that moment, because I remember how scary it was.
No, you don't. That's why it's a learning process. I mean, very few people are able to do that naturally. For most people, it's really hard to access. So it's a learning process. And that's why it has to be done over 5 weeks usually. So first, I teach the relaxation progressively. People understand how to go deeper in that state. And then once they have practiced, we can really access the subconscious, and that's when we release fears. And the other thing that I teach is education, how the body works. So all the classes really have this side of education. And that's also good for partners.
I'm very interested though, going back to where you felt so scared and then you ran through this Morgan method in hypnobirthing. Were you ever ready?
Yeah, I did feel ready, but ready for motherhood is a bit different. So I felt ready for childbirth, and I think I was, but yeah, then ready for what's coming next is a total different thing.
And those methods continued to help you.
Yeah, it does. It can help anybody throughout life and stress and anxiety. And I use it because I'm afraid of flying. I use it in the plane. I use it sometimes with my daughter when she gets on my nerves, and I have to calm down, for bedtime. Sometimes I'm in a rush, she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I think she feels it. And also if the stress lowers down, she can feel that. And every day you learn something new, and you have to adapt to your kid, because your kid is changing all the time.
Exactly.
And you the best thing to do and to learn, and I think hypnobirthing is very helpful in that way, is to learn to let go. Because having a child, you're not going to be able to control.
Nothing.
It's an independent person, although you've carried this baby and you think it's yours forever. They are another person, and they have their own character, their own ways. And so sometimes
I'm
it's
finding
not
that out myself. Yeah,
how you would
it's
do
true.
things and how you would want things to go. But and starting from childbirth, learning to let go is absolutely key to
necessary.
being a parent.
So, ladies and gentlemen, learn to let go.
Come to a hypnobirthing course and learn to let go.
Okay. So, I love how you took your terror and you turned it into empowerment, into strength, into something that you now are using to help other moms.
I say it in the most beautiful way. It's like, yeah, you can choose your, like, of course there are things that are happening, but there are doors that you can open and only you can open them, but just have to open your eyes and see them. And so that's how you make your own path.
Before you became a mom, you were running a business in clothing. What was that turning point for you? Why did you give that up?
It was coming in Singapore and having been through really rigorous lockdown in Shanghai, not being able to sell my products was like, okay, if anything like this ever happens again, plus I had put so much energy, time, and money in it. And then it was such a big frustration not being able to do it. And I had to refocus on my family first. And then because I had such a strong experience thanks to hypnobirthing, so very powerful, very empowering childbirth, I thought, like, why not try to pass it on to others and invest in skills I can take with me everywhere. So if we spend like 2 years in Singapore or 10 years, it doesn't matter. I would still have the skills with me. Yeah, making clothes, finding suppliers, finding clients, building a community around your brand. You're not going to be able to bring it with you if you travel a lot.
So you were saying you were in lockdown in Shanghai. Was COVID the lockdown?
No, in Shanghai, the lockdown was in 2022.
Oh.
Yeah, so initially when COVID started in China,
Yes.
the only city that was locked down was Wuhan.
Okay.
But the rest of China were not locked down. What they did is close all the borders and we were living in this bubble without any COVID. So I didn't know anyone in Shanghai who got COVID until they reopened the border and decided to stop the zero COVID policy. But before that, we were like moving around freely in China. Then they started to impose like more strict measures and to monitor people, and it became like really, really complicated. And so there started to be COVID cases even in China. And that's when they decided to impose like the super, super strict lockdown. So we couldn't get out of our apartment for 3 months.
Oh boy. And were you pregnant at that time?
No, I had just given birth.
And you couldn't leave the apartment?
Which is okay with a newborn, to be fair. So it was not that bad. I thought I would become insane. But with her, I mean, for her, it was the best. She had her 2 parents with her.
Fair.
24/7, and that's all a newborn needs.
I was a COVID mama and I had to go through lockdown. Basically, the moment we are leaving the hospital, they were like, put on your mask, and sign here and write here and sign in. And I was like, what's going on? Something's happening in the world. And I missed that opportunity for the rest of the family to meet my little ones.
Who would have predicted that the world would stop?
Nobody. So to a mom who is listening now, who is feeling anxious, who's feeling like they're doubting themselves, whether they'll ever be ready for childbirth or for motherhood, what is one thing you feel like you want them to hear?
It's really hard. I want to tell them so many things.
Tell them everything.
Everybody has a different path, of course, but use this feeling, this anxiety, and turn it into a power. We are superhuman beings.
Ooh.
No, but it's the power of the mind.
And that's what you unlocked through your learnings, right?
Yes, through hypnobirthing babies when they are born.
Exactly.
They are active participants. Choose carefully who's going to be there for your birth. This is not like a random day. This is the day your baby's born. Who do you want for that day? Who will you trust? What kind of doctor? What kind of relationship do you want to have with this person? Is this person going to be able to respect your choices?
That's so important.
Yeah. and there is a medical reason for an intervention, will this person be able to explain it to you, why they do this, why they choose this option, and why it is necessary for you, not because of a protocol? So, yeah, can they be a human being beyond like being a doctor?
This conversation follows our journey of how motherhood can bring awareness to our health and well-being mentally and emotionally. I hope you enjoy watching this. Thank you.